Welcome back to Indian Trace. I think that's about the best frame I can get right here. 5 pieces of pottery all found at the garden. And I want to talk about them. I think they represent 5 specific dispensations. 5 dispensations of time. Could be separated between 100 years, could be separated between 500 years. But we're going to check that out. And the piece that I found yesterday of soapstone. And look at the rim here. Unbelievable. This is a huge piece. We're going to take a look at this. Just look at the edge here. If you could feel how smooth this is. Some of you guys out there know soapstone a lot better than I do. This is the biggest piece I've ever found. It's heavy. But soapstone for sure. Unbelievable piece. And the top edge right here. Really crazy. We'll take another look at that before we're done. But that edge was what I saw, and I'm like, that is not man-made. Excuse me. That is not industrial at all. So once you pick it up, you know it's a part of a big bowl of some type. But look at, if I pan out, look what we got in backup here. Tonight, I got my homework cut out for me. I have a little bit of time. These points that you see on each side of this soapstone, over here and over here, we've seen. But they represent the last 2 months of top shelf stuff that I got to put away. I got to get into my box and display box, and they've been having their home right there. But check these 2 piles out, and we're not going to go through them. And I want to do this to illustrate the abundance of the North American Indian. Sure, I may find a lot. I find a lot of great stuff. I'm real thankful for it. I mean, I don't even have words that can describe how cool, how should I say? I mean, I don't have the words. How much it ministers to me to be able to find not just artifacts. I mean, these are in the soak. Those are underwater. I don't know if I'm going to get a good focus on them from today. Got to get close enough where I don't dunk this in the water. So those are in the soak. I'm going to clean those up underneath the water. And we'll get those cleaned up. But that's just from today. I mean, there's some good stuff in there. Rhyolites and quartz. That's the piece that's on video right there. And the reason why I put these 2 piles up here was to give some people out there the perspective of the North American Indian, which I like to depict them, and how abundant they must have had to be. Not just here. It wasn't that. And look at this. Same month. Same couple months. 2 months. We got a lot of points here as well. Like this point, and this point, and this point, and this point. That are from where this pottery came from. The garden. And where this big piece of soapstone came from. So if we stay on task here, I've got to find a good place for these. Of course, there's some pieces in here that didn't come from there. And for example, we have Notchville. We have right here over at Riverwood. Some great points here from over at Site 5E. Banded crystal from the Hawk. So a selection, you know. Here's another point from the garden. So all these have been seen, but they're worth another look. And of course, they're in my top shelf stuff. I've got to find a place for them. And when you look at that pile, and you look at this, and it represents about 2 months' time, you know, only 8 weeks, I'm humbled. But I know that the North American Indian must have been so dominant, not just here, but from here to California, in numbers. We're talking about the archaic North American Indian, the woodland North American Indian, Mississippian. Of course, these points don't belong to the Mississippian period. They belong to the woodland and the archaic specifically, dominatingly so. So to me, it's really cool because they dominated this continent for thousands of years. Nice Guilford. Anyway, I did make this video so that we can talk a little bit about this pottery here. It's just, with the backdrop the way I have it, it's just a great setup. And a collage, if you will, of points. worthwhile. Now look at this pottery. I want you to see something with me. Look at the texture. I believe, and we get this set up. This is really why I wanted to make this video. I've got to do something with these points this evening. I believe we're talking about oldest to youngest. And I'm going to show you these pieces of pottery, but I'm going to show you why I think that's the case. The oldest pieces of pottery are often tempered with sand and quartz, which sand is really small pieces of quartz crystal, which I'm sure brought the temperature up. These are just my thoughts and thinking through it. In the older pieces of pottery, we're going to flip them over, wait till you see it. You can see the sand in this. And in this one, pieces of quartz. I don't know if it's going to focus that quick or that close. Piece of quartz right there. But they're thicker too, dominatingly heavy and thick. And then we have the middle period where they just started some type of texture, like pressing them into baskets, like these two I believe were. Woven, cross-woven baskets that they were pressed into. And look at these two. This one was a type of mat, probably. A type of probably a basket or a fabric type of basket that they made, that they pressed the clay into and then fired it. I really agree with Jonesy on that. And then this last one, I really believe it was rolled with maize. So we're moving up into the woodland where they might have started to do some crops and grow some stuff. Take a look at that. So let's check this out. Look at this. This is what I meant. Check these out when I flip them over, the difference in all this pottery. I wonder if I could get this, do this the right way. Focus is giving me a problem if I stay still and move slow. And I appreciate you tuning in, Indian Trace. Just a little chat here this evening. Now look at the sand in this. You're going to see a contrast, though, of difference. Totally different colors, totally different ways of making it. Now they're getting thinner, too. See the contrast? It's unbelievable to me. And they tell a story. I mean, if I got into pottery and started to study it, it would tell me a whole lot about the site and how long they were at the place that I call the garden. And many of my sites for that matter. And I have a few sites that really have a lot of pottery, but no pottery is like the pottery I've been finding at the garden. And this is a much darker type of inside the pot. When it's wet, it gets almost a chocolate brownish. Now look at the refining as we keep going in these. Don't know about the edge on this one, but I do know about the back and how everything starts to change and firing. It tells a lot about how they were made completely different. These are very strong, but they get thinner. They've been getting thinner, and these are really dominatingly thick. The older you get, the thicker it is, the heavier it is, which is not the same thing for a piece of soapstone, because this is just majored. I can't even imagine what size bowl that is and how it was finished off. I can't even imagine finding a casting stone of soapstone that's that big. What on earth? So share what you will if it's your thing and you've studied it out. I'd appreciate it. That's crazy right there. It's so smooth. You know how soapstone is. Dead giveaway. Convex type of construction. Oh, I've never seen anything like that big. And the last piece here, see how this is made? The one that I think was rolled with maize, but don't know. Could be something totally different. Look at that, how refined and smooth it is on the inside. So you can really see the contrast of these. Now let me see if I can do it closer. Contrast on the backs. Just for fun here. Now when's the last time somebody put a piece of video of pottery up like this? or to be able to see some of the great, just outstanding stuff. I've been to many museums from here to Utah to all over that are North American Indian museums, and I see no displays like this. Not that I'm anything special, but I'm just blown away that it's even possible. I mean, really. This video is getting long enough. Check this out, though. We can get a good view of this. That's why I think they represent different peoples, separated by generations, if you will. It's crazy. Now watch this. If I flip all these back around, and I start it this way. Oldest, possibly to youngest. It may not even be that way. It's just a theory. You know how theories are. Pretty wild, isn't it? For those of you who love pottery, you're going to like this video. It really tells a lot. All right. From Indian Trace to all of you guys out there, appreciate you tuning in, checking all this stuff out. What else could I share? A lot going on with politics. And it's not that I've specifically or strategically tried to talk less about it. I talk all the time about it. I just sort of try to follow my heart. I definitely always put the links up so that you can check those out. And look at those right there. It's not working. There we go. Sorry, I gotta hold this still. Look at those pieces of pottery. But anyway, with respects to the political links, important. I wouldn't review so many to put them up there to make it possible for somebody who's just simple or young out there to follow some good talking points, if you have enough patience to watch this. So from Indian Trace to all you guys out there, just a celebration of the North American Indian. All my hopes for you out there to find some great artifacts. Be well out there.